everyone, welcome to e-learning easy learning. ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ സെൻട്രൽ നെർവസ് സിസ്റ്റത്തെ കുറിച്ചാണ് പഠിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. സെൻട്രൽ നെർവസ് സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമുക്കറിയാം ബ്രെയിനും സ്പൈനൽ കോഡും. So today we are going to discuss about the structure and function of brain and spinal cord. So let's move to the video. We know that the nervous system is highly complex because it has to control and coordinate various functions of the body. So here we have one nervous system diagram. In this one we can see only three labelings. One is the brain, the spinal cord and nerves. So we can say that brain, spinal cord and nerve form the nervous system. Again, the nervous system is classified into two parts, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system അഥവാ കേന്ദ്ര നാഡീവ്യവസ്ഥയെന്നും പെരിഫറൽ നെർവസ് സിസ്റ്റം അഥവാ പരിധീയ നാഡീവ്യവസ്ഥയെന്നും രണ്ടായിട്ടാണ് നെർവസ് സിസ്റ്റത്തെ തിരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. Okay, central nervous system, the parts are brain and spinal cord, whereas peripheral nervous system means all the nerves that is forming from brain and spinal cord will form peripheral nervous system. അതായത് ബ്രെയിനിൽ നിന്നും സ്പൈനൽ കോഡിൽ നിന്നും പുറപ്പെടുന്ന എല്ലാ നാഡികളെയും കൂടി ചേർത്ത് നമ്മൾ പെരിഫറൽ നെർവസ് സിസ്റ്റം എന്ന് പറയും. Again, the nerves of peripheral nervous system is classified into two parts, cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Cranial nerves means the nerves that is originating from the brain. ബ്രെയിനിൽ നിന്നും പുറപ്പെടുന്ന നാഡികൾക്കാണ് cranial nerves അഥവാ ശിരോനാഡികൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. The nerves that is originating from the spinal cord is called spinal nerves അഥവാ സുഷുമ്ന നാഡികൾ എന്നും പറയും. We have 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves. And here in this video we are going to discuss only about the central nervous system, that is the structure and function of brain and spinal cord. So now we are going to see the first part of the central nervous system, that is the brain. We know that brain is highly complex. At the same time, it is made up of very soft tissue, so that the brain is protected inside a bony case known as the skull or cranium. Okay, so inside that there is one more covering around the brain that is known as the meninges. Meninges is made up of three layers. The outermost layer is known as dura mater, middle layer is known as the arachnoid membrane, and innermost membrane is known as the pia mater. And in between these membranes, we can see a fluid known as cerebrospinal fluid. So the brain is protected with the skull, the meninges, and the cerebrospinal fluid. Therefore, any shocks or injuries will not affect the brain that much. Okay, it can act as a shock absorber, or it can regulate the pressure inside the brain, and it can protect the brain from injuries. In that way, the brain is protected by itself. Now we are going to see the structure of human brain. So the brain is divided into 5 major parts. They are cerebrum, cerebellum, medulla, thalamus, and hypothalamus. First is about the cerebrum. We can see this largest part is the cerebrum, and it is not only the largest part but also the highly developed part of the human brain. And the cerebrum is divided into two hemispheres. Okay, right and left hemispheres. These two hemispheres are connected together with a group of connective tissue known as corpus callosum. Another interesting fact is the right side of the cerebral hemisphere will control the functions of left side of the body, and the left side of the cerebrum is controlling the functions of the right side of our body. So any injury or damage to the left side of the brain will affect the functions of the right side of the body. Okay, and if you are looking very close to the surface of the cerebrum is otherwise known as cerebral cortex. You can see lot of infoldings can be seen over there, or lot of convolutions are there. So these infoldings will form ridges and grooves in the cerebral cortex that will increase the surface area. Therefore, it can afford lot of neurons in it. As there is lot of neurons, the functionality of the cerebrum will be more. Now we can see what are the major functions of cerebrum. And it is said that it is a cerebrum that is a seat of the intelligence, imagination, logical thinking, creativity, then speech, senses, then all the voluntary actions. All these activities are controlled by our cerebrum. Voluntary actions means actions that can be controlled by ourselves, like jumping, walking, running. All these actions can be controlled by ourselves, and these activities are controlled by the cerebrum. And it is a area of all senses, or the functions of sense organs are controlled by the cerebrum. Okay, and now we are moving to the second part, that is the cerebellum. See this part, this is the cerebellum. Cerebellum is the second largest part of the brain, and the main function of cerebellum is body balancing. Okay, so it can control the posture of a person, or it can play an important role in the smooth and balanced function of the muscular activities. And it is a cerebellum that is the seat of all the learned activities. Learned activities means, for example, we are learning to play guitar or some musical instruments, or we are learning to ride a bicycle. So these activities are controlled by the cerebellum. Now we are moving to the third part, that is the thalamus. You can see below the cerebrum there is a chamber known as the thalamus. Thalamus is acting as a relay station of information to and from the cerebrum. So the sensory information carried by the sensory neurons will be taken to the thalamus first. From there, it will be relayed or radiated to the corresponding area. If the sensory neuron is bringing some information regarding the sight, it will go to the area of vision. Or if it is for some reasoning or logical thinking, that will go to that particular area. Okay, so in that way, this thalamus is acting as a relay station for that particular information to and from the cerebrum. Next part is the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, hypo means below. You can see hypothalamus is a portion just below the thalamus. Now we will see the functions of hypothalamus. Hypothalamus controls the body temperature. We know that the human beings are mammals. We have a constant body temperature. So this body temperature is maintained with the help of hypothalamus. And it is a seat of hunger, thirst, sleep, and other emotional responses. At the same time, here we have a pituitary gland. We know that this is a master gland. The function of this gland is controlled by the hypothalamus. Okay, that is about the structure and function of hypothalamus. Now we are going to the last part, that is about the medulla or medulla oblongata. Okay, and medulla, this part is a medulla, and this is acting like a connection between or connecting link between the spinal cord and the remaining parts of the brain. Okay, so the medulla is also playing so much of vital functions of the body, like a breathing, a heartbeat, or the intestinal movements, and these actions or involuntary actions of the body is controlled by this medulla oblongata. So that is about the structure and function of the brain. Now we are moving to the second part of the central nervous system, that is the spinal cord. You can see the spinal cord picture over here. It is starting from the medulla oblongata to the lumbar region. You can see some labelings over here like cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, coccygeal. These are the areas of vertebral column or the spine, or this part. Okay, and if you're examining spinal cord, we can see that it is a long and thin tubular structure, and it is made up of nervous tissue, same like it is a continuation of the brain, so that it is also made up of the same material by which the brain is made. So that this one is also protected inside the vertebral column. Inside the vertebrae there is a spinal cavity. Through that one the spinal cord is passing down, and the spinal cord is covered with the meninges, like a three-layered membrane. Okay, pia mater, arachnoid membrane, and dura mater we can see over here also. And in the middle of the spinal cord we can see a central canal. The central canal is also filled with the cerebrospinal fluid. So whatever protective measures we have seen in the brain, the same thing can be seen for the spinal cord also. Now let's see what is the function of the spinal cord. The spinal cord is the main pathway for information between the brain and the peripheral nervous system. Okay. So that is all about the structure and function of brain and spinal cord. Please give your suggestions in the comment box and subscribe the channel for latest tutorials.